Om, the Rishi said, in adherence to the command of the demon king, self-conceit, Shumba, passion and anger, Chanda and Munda, set forth with 4 divisions of their army of thought demons, well adorned with weapons and armor. On a high peak in the Golden Mountains, they saw the goddess, Durga, sitting upon her lion, smiling with delight. Seeing her, the thought demons made ready to capture her. Some took up their bows, some raised their swords, some collected around the goddess and began to fight. Then the mother of the universe, Ma Durga, became very angry with those attackers, and her face turned dark with rage. The eyebrows were scowling, and from her frowning forehead appeared Kali, the remover of darkness, with a terribly frightening face, who was holding a sword and a net in her hands. She wore a leopard skin garment and a garland of human skulls. Her flesh had withered, and she appeared as a skeleton of bones and was very fierce. She displayed fantastic missiles of consciousness. Her mouth was immense, and she brandished her tongue as a sword, which caused great fear. Her eyes were penetrating and somewhat red. Her fearful roar was humming in all directions. Kali, the remover of darkness, killed many great thought demons, and after destroying an army of thoughts in great haste, she began to eat them all. And so this is chapter 7 from the Devi Mahatmya. Just to say what happens next is Kali then fights with this demon army, killing numerous demons. And then finally she meets the 2 demon generals, Chanda and Munda, meaning passion and anger, and she slays them both. And she brings their heads to Ma Durga. And I'll read the last 3 verses of this chapter. Thereafter, Kali, the remover of darkness, took the heads of passion and anger, Chanda and Munda, in her hands and brought them to she who tears apart thought, that's another name for Durga, and spoke to her with a great laugh. I present to you the great beasts, passion and anger. Now, in the war of sacrifice, you shall kill the thought demons, self-conceit, Shumba, and self-deprecation, Nishumba. And the Rishi said, seeing the heads of the 2 great thought demons, passion and anger, Chanda and Munda, brought to her, the goddess of welfare, she who tears apart thought, in sweet words said to Kali, the remover of darkness, since you have brought me the heads of passion and anger, henceforth you shall be known in all the worlds as Chamunda, the slayer of passion and anger. Om. Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado, and Shiva Sai Mandir in Denver, Colorado, and welcome to day 7 of Navaratri, Spring Navaratri. And tonight we're going to be honoring one of my favorites, the goddess to whom my temple is named after, Matrika Chamunda. And so I just read part of the account, one of the origin stories of Ma Kali from chapter 7 of the Devi Mahatmya. And this is a print of a painting showing the Divine Mother in this form. And the second painting, which is adorning our altar now, is part of the same series of paintings that I've been using in this series. And I want to say a little bit about the artist. So the previous 6 days, I've used prints of the Matrika series from the Indian artist Rabi Behera. And you can find his paintings on, let's see, is it... and suddenly just drew a blank on the website. sacred India art, famous works, famous website. And he is an artist that typically is selling his paintings on that site. And he's famous for these series of paintings of the Ashtamatrika, the 8 little mothers. And the Chamunda painting that I have is not a print. This is one of his original paintings. And so this is a painting that adorns the inner sanctum of my temple. So again, welcome and namaste. So glad you're here. I'd like to say namaste to Arati, who is joining right now. And anybody who happens to be tuning in right now, please feel free to say hello using the chat function on the bottom of your screen. So Matrika Chamunda is a fierce and powerful form of the Divine Mother in Hinduism, also in Vajrayana or Himalayan Buddhism, often associated with the destruction of evil, protection, and transformation. When referred to as Matrika Chamunda, she is understood as one of the Matrikas, the little mother goddesses, a group of divine feminine energies who assist the supreme goddess. So there are 2 main Matrika traditions. One is the tradition of the Sapta Matrika, or the 7 little mothers. And in that particular tradition, Chamunda is the final goddess. She's the culmination of the 6 other forms of the Divine Mother. And then in the tradition of the Ashtamatrika, which we're following in this series, she is goddess number 7, followed by goddess number 8. Number 8 is very often Natashimi, who is the Divine Mother in the form of a lioness. So we're going to be honoring her tomorrow. Other traditions, the 8th goddess is Mahadurga, and we're also going to be honoring her tomorrow as well. There's a 3rd Ashtamatrika tradition where the 8th Divine Mother is Mahalakshmi, and her male counterpart is Kubera, the Vedic god of wealth. Either way, Chamunda is a terrifying yet deeply protective goddess, considered an aspect of Durga, and really the oldest form of Ma Kali. We really don't see Kali as a younger woman in artistic depictions until the 19th century, really around the 1860s. Chamunda is most famous for slaying the demons Chanda and Munda, or passion and anger, which is how, as I read, she got her name. Chamunda is typically depicted as emaciated with a skeletal body, symbolizing transcendence over the physical form. She is also in that form very much the mother who literally gives everything to her children. Wears a garland of skulls representing ego destruction. Typically, the number of skulls is 50 in number, representing the 50 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, which are Bij mantra or seed mantras in their own right. Hence, the garland of skulls also represents the power of the word and the power of mantra. Very often, she's shown seated upon a corpse, or riding an owl or jackal. And I have a little statuette that I'm going to show you. This is from another form of the Ashtamatrikas, where all of the Matrikas are shown as young women. And we see Matrika Chamunda sitting on what in this country would be called a barn owl. This is a very rare little murti here that I've included. And she's shown holding weapons like her sword, for cutting away ego attachments, for slaying our inner demons. She may be holding the severed head of a demon, as we see here. In this series, all of the Matrika are holding a child, and that child is all of us. She might also be shown holding a skull cup, representing the transformation of consciousness, or a trident. But Ma Chamunda, in her fearsome form, represents the destruction of negativity and ego, also the inevitability of death and time, and also liberation or moksha through confronting our fears. And namaste to Zigzag. And yeah, thank you for adding. Yeah, it is interesting to see the connection of Mahalakshmi and Kubera. And Krishna calls himself Kubera, also, additionally in the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much for showing that, or for sharing that. So to review, the Matrikas are a group of 7 or 8 mothers, including ones we've covered: Brahmani, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi. Yesterday we honored Indrani, and of course Chamunda tonight. And as a Matrika, Chamunda represents the most intense destructive power among them, and she's invoked for protection against evil forces. She's worshipped in tantric traditions and the Shakta sect of Hinduism, that is the goddess-centered form of Hinduism. She's associated with cremation grounds and deep spiritual practices. Very often spiritual practices that involve our confronting our fears. Devotees seek her blessings for protection from enemies, from the removal of fear, and spiritual liberation, or moksha again. She's especially revered during Navaratri, both in the spring and in the fall, when different forms of the goddess are being honored. Chamunda teaches us that destruction is part of a renewal. Think about a forest fire burning away all the old dead growth so that new growth can take place. She teaches us that facing fears leads to freedom, and that ego must dissolve for true awakening. In the Matrika system, each mother goddess represents both a cosmic power and the removal of a specific human vice or negative tendency. Her consorts may be Lord Shiva or Lord Yama, the Lord of Death and the underworld and the upholder of Dharma. Chamunda is associated with the destruction of the deepest and most destructive inner impurities. That of the ego, also known as ahankara, the false sense of I, the false sense of superiority. She also removes cruelty and sadistic tendencies. She also removes dark fear and the greatest of our fears, the fear of death. And that is the fear that so many of our other fears stem from. And she also removes hatred and destructive impulses. I'm going to share with you a mask. This is a dance mask from Nepal. And right now in cities like Kathmandu and Patan and Bhaktipur, there are what are called jatra celebrations. And a jatra is a ceremonial dance that reenacts legends around the Divine Mother, especially Chamunda and her slaying of our inner demons. And so this is a Nepalese dance mask of Chamunda. And this form especially is Chamunda Mahakali. And I want to say a little bit about her. So she's emaciated in appearance. Typically Mahakali is red in color, and her crown bears 5 skulls. And those skulls represent the transformation of 5 inner poisons into 5 inner wisdoms. So the inner poison of ignorance is transformed into all-encompassing wisdom. The inner poison of anger or hatred is transformed into mirror-like wisdom, knowledge of the self. The poison of pride or arrogance is replaced by the wisdom of equality. The poison of desire or attachment is transformed into discriminating wisdom, realizing what's truly important in our lives and letting the frivolous things fall away. And then finally, the inner poison of envy or jealousy is replaced, that is transformed into accomplishing wisdom. One other interesting feature about this dance mask are these white spots that have been painted on her. And those actually represent smallpox pustules. So in addition to the removal of inner afflictions, Matrika Chamunda is also called upon for physical afflictions as well. And so she's a very powerful form of the Divine Mother to call upon during epidemics. So she would be called upon to remove disease from the community. And since smallpox has been completely eradicated from the human population, she'd be called upon for the relief of suffering due to childhood diseases like chickenpox or measles nowadays. To say some more about her psychological interpretations, if the other matrikas remove more surface flaws, Chamunda works at the deepest level. She dissolves the root of all vices, the ego itself, and helps us to overcome extreme anger that becomes destructive, violence or harmful intent, and existential fear and insecurities. Chamunda's lessons can certainly be intense. She represents the end of illusion, the final purification stage, hence why in some traditions she is the final Matrika, and transformation through confronting darkness. Her Bij mantra that we'll be using is Cham, very similar to her name. And we'll be using the mantra AUM Cham Namaha and chanting just the syllable Cham in our guided meditation. And then I'll be sharing her Gayatri mantra as her invocation. So Chamunda sadhana helps to remove deep fears and negativities, helps to destroy the ego and inner darknesses. Her sadhana invokes protection and courage, and her sadhana strengthens inner transformation and clarity. Jai Ma Chamunda. Jai Ma Chamunda. Om Aing Reem Klim Chamundaye Viche. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. So I invite you to take a comfortable seated position. Find a position where your back can be straight. Maybe roll the shoulders back to open the breath. And let's begin with deep, slow, yogic breathing. Grounding. Centering. Preparing for this evening's sadhana. Letting go of the anxieties of the past and the future. Centering on the present moment. Breathing away all those things that act as obstacles between us and the divine, and really, truly realizing our true potential. and focusing our breath and attention on our heart center and connecting with the Divine Mother in all of her forms. And taking a moment to once again silently repeat your personal sankalpa, your personal intention for this Navaratri season. Repeat it to yourself 3 times. And know that in taking part in these practices through these 9 days, you're taking just an amazing step toward receiving that healing, toward receiving that resolution, or receiving that wisdom that you need at this time. And bringing the palms of our hands together to our heart center, let's begin our practice tonight by chanting the seed syllable Cham 3 times. Deep inhale. Cham. Inhale again. Cham. Third deep inhale. Cham. Om. Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yashmade Pandarikaksham Sabhyabhyanta Sushi. Om Shuklam Bharadhanam Vishnum Sashivanam Shatobhijam Prasanavananam Dayat Sava Vigno Pasantaye Jai Ganesha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshvara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guru Ve Namah. Jai Guru. Om Trayambakam Yajamaye Sagandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhanan Michur Mukshiyamamrita. Om Namah Shivaya. Devi Prapanote Hare Prasida Prasida Matara Jagata Kilasya Prasida Vishvesvara Pe Vishvam Tvamishwara Devi Chachara Charasya Jema Devi. Om Chamundaye Vidmaye Mahabaya Vinashinye Dimai Tano Devi Prachodayat. Om Aing Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche. Om. We who seek to understand and meditate upon the goddess Chamunda, we meditate on the one who destroys great fears. May that Divine Mother inspire and guide us. By the principle of creation, preservation, and destruction, may Ma Chamunda purify our thoughts. Jai Ma Chamunda. Jai Ma Chamunda. Jai Ma Chamunda Devi Nama. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. So I invite you to join me in repeating our mantra while I give the offerings. AUM Cham Namaha. 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 Om Aing Klim Chamunda Vichye. Jai Ma Chamunda. Jai Ma Chamunda. Jai Ma Chamunda Devi Namah. Okay, so I invite you to continue chanting with me. Om Cham Namah. 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 AUM Cham Namaha. 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 Jai Ma Chamunda. Jai Ma Chamunda. Jai Ma Chamunda Devi. So I invite you to sit comfortably, feeling the power of the mantra. And begin to bring your attention to the crown of your head. For the crown chakra is governed by Ma Chamunda. And gently close your eyes and begin to take slow and deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathing deeply and feeling your body settle along with your mind. And begin to imagine a bright, white, glowing, 1,000-petaled lotus above your head. And observe it slowly opening and radiating light. And begin to visualize Ma Chamunda above or within this light. And you notice that she is fierce, yet compassionate, and surrounded by radiant, protective energy. And feel that energy burning away fear, burning away doubt, and burning away those aspects of the ego which hold you back. And silently, as you inhale and exhale, I invite you to softly repeat her mantra, Cham, 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 letting the vibration rise upwards to your crown. Cham, Cham, Cham. And allow yourself to imagine your dark thoughts dissolving into this light. Cham, Cham, Cham. And your identity expanding beyond the body. Cham, Cham, Cham. And a sense of vast stillness and awareness. Cham, Cham, Cham. And let Ma Chamunda's energy clear and open the crown chakra fully, connecting you to the divine with no obstacles. Cham, 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 cham. And then I invite you to take a deep and clearing breath. Drop the mantra and sit for a time in a place of stillness and a place of silence. And begin to notice a sense of spaciousness. And a sense of calm. And this connection to something larger and greater and infinite. Om Mangrim Klim Chamunda Viche. 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 Bring your awareness back to your breath. And bring your awareness back to your body and your surroundings. And slowly bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center. And slowly open your eyes. Cham, cham, cham. Kapuragoram karunavataram samsara saram bujigendra haram sada santam hridayada vinde vivam bivani saitam namami devi prapanote hare prasida matara jagata kilasya prasida vishvesvara pe vishvam tvamishora devi Chachara charasya. Om Mangrim Klim Chamundaye Viche. Om Mangrim Klim Chamundaye Viche. Om Mangrim Klim Chamundaye Viche. Jema. 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 Om Tat Sat Om. Jai Ganesha. Jai Guru. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Ma Devi. Jai Ma Kali. Jai Ma Durga. Jai Ma Chamunda Devi. Jai Ma Chamunda Devi. Jai Ma Chamunda Devi. And take a moment to give thanks to Ma Chamunda, the Divine Mother in all forms, existing within and existing around you. And know that power is there to guide you and protect you and teach you whenever you have need. And take a moment to give gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice this evening, knowing you can replay this broadcast whenever you need to do this meditation again. And finally, opening your eyes if they're closed. And namaste. Blessings always. Thank you so very much for joining me this evening. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. Jai Mata Di. And thank you so very much. I want to say thank you to Zigzag Zebra and Arati for joining. And anyone else who was, looks like there was another 3 of you at least joining live. Thank you so very much. I want to give my thanks to anybody who will be watching the recording of this broadcast in the future. And I look forward to you joining me tomorrow, 6 p.m. Denver time. We'll be honoring Natashimi, the Divine Mother, as a lioness, and we'll also be honoring Mahadurga as well. Quick little correction from the beginning of the broadcast. I was drawing a blank on the name of the website from which the paintings by Ravi Behera can be purchased from. It's actually Exotic India Art. Just go in your browser, type in Exotic India Art, and you'll find all kinds of wonderful things there. So, as always, please take some time for some quiet contemplation before resuming the day or the evening's activities. And Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, and have a wonderful night. Namaste.